And you heard that click. Oh, yours ain't on mute. Both of us muted.
Oh, okay.
My bad, family.
Okay, my bad.
Can y'all hear us? Can y'all hear us? We just want to make sure y'all can hear us. Y'all can hear us. Drop a thumbs up or a number 7 if y'all can hear us clearly.
And as well, can you hear me? Give me 1 for me, Kyle, and a 2 for me. 1 for me, Kyle, 1 and 2 for me. Okay, we'll take a 7. We'll take a 7. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom
Shabbat
again
shalom.
to everybody
Shabbat
present
shalom.
and to our YouTube family. We thank you so much for joining us for another Comical Ministries presentation and lesson. I don't know if you guys heard Akmi Kael's, what's up, Mr. Rote? Hopefully I'm saying it right. Right. Okay. Hopefully I don't want to offend nobody, so I hopefully pronounce that right. Thank you for joining us. Just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us once again as we actually do another lesson. Hallelujah. What we're going to be talking about is faith. Faith. We have lessons on faith before. It's something that's a pillar. It's a bedrock. It's a cornerstone of our. It's a cornerstone of our culture. It's a cornerstone of our belief system. It's a cornerstone of our relationship with our Creator. And so I don't think it can ever be talked about enough. I believe there's different ways and different angles in which you can actually discuss the topic on faith. There's just is very elementary. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to faith. We know that fundamentally it just means to believe, right? But when you think of coming from the biblical or scriptural or the Hebraic culture, faith is more than just belief. It's a corresponding action. It is rooted in being a concrete action that has to be taken. So when you anything that causes us to, even if it's what you would consider an abstract concept, faith commands and demands that we do something in order to say we're actually walking in faith. So I decided, as I was just in prayer throughout the week, the thought came to me about faith and what is faith, and what does faith look like to the Most High, right? What does it look like to Him? How does He see faith? And you may be surprised. You may be surprised. I don't want to assume that you'll be surprised what I'm about to say, but faith, what came to my spirit, faith is us availing our presence to our Creator. In other words, it's making ourselves known to Yah. It's making ourselves known to Him. His word is his response or his guidance to his creation. Our response to that is faith. And when we move actively and we're corresponding to his word, our faith is actually availing ourselves to him, or our presence to him. When we're actually moving in sound faith, we're manifesting ourselves to God. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's going to make sense. So what we're going to do is go through Hebrews 11, and we're going to give a discourse on faith, and we're going to see why is it so important to the cosmology of the Hebraic Abrahamic system, in which Abraham approached the creator of the world. And we see that it said in the text that Abraham walked with Yah, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way two people can walk together unless they
be agreed.
They be agreed, right? But also that their presence, right?
Yeah.
So somehow that Yah was walking with Abraham. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just that God was walking with Abraham, right? But Abraham was walking with God. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, can we say that they were together hand in hand? Physically, no. But Abraham's faith was so high that it was no different than sitting in this room with one another.
Right. Right.
Abraham's faith made himself tangible to God. That makes sense.
Those two, when two or three are gathered in my name,
I'm in the midst.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
So our faith is what actually puts us in God's presence. Mm-hmm. It's what makes us real to God, even though God knows we're real. But in Yah's sight, in our Creator's sight, after the sin of Adam, he sees dead people.
Right, right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
He sees dead people. Mm-hmm. He sees they're alive, but they're dead to him because they're not in the state in which he created them to be.
Right. It's like that. I forgot the name of the machine, but the metrics to see the electricity of a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. Once it's completely dead, maybe, Paul. Yeah, once it's completely dead, there's no light you can see.
Right.
So in the eyes of that machine, it's dead. Although a heartbeat can go a certain distance even after that life force is done, but technically, based upon the machine, you can't see the life in it. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm getting at, what you're saying is Yah looking for his heart in people. Mm-hmm. And when it does not have his life in it or his spirit in it, it is completely dead. It shows no signs of life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So as it says that we're what we says, the psalmist says, I was born in sin and shapen in iniquity.
Yep.
Right. So though we're thinking we're breathing and we're showing kinetic energy, we're showing kinetic motion. We think that that's alive to Yah. Right. That's not alive to him. That's not alive to him. Yah told Adam, the day that you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. Mm-hmm. The minute he bit into that fruit, he died to Yah.
Facts.
But the process of death was catching up to what had already been pronounced to him.
Time started to tick.
The clock of death began to tick on the life of Adam and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
The death clock began. And because they were made to be eternal, it took long. But when you really look at our lifespans are getting shorter, not longer.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So from generation to generation, the span of life is getting shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting short to the place where Mashiach said, I have to shorten the days.
Mm-hmm.
Unless no man be saved.
Right.
So he has to now deal with quantum physics and actually change time.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? He has to change time itself in order to make sure that man does not don't go on into this thing and where we actually go into oblivion.
Right.
To cease.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, the minute Adam and Eve sinned, the motions of death begin. Mm-hmm. And I said that our days getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, why is it imperative that we discuss faith? Because there's several reasons that if Yah should suffer us to continue on as time is, we'll lose our lives. But also, Satan is hastening the destruction of man. Mm-hmm. Who knows right now? We are literally looking at World War III. We're looking at a new war right now. Okay. We are literally looking down the face of nuclear war, a nuclear holocaust. This is not just talk. This, if I read, the president of Russia has literally said that now we're in a state of war with the United Nations and the United States. A global war. And he says there's only so many times I'm going to take United States weaponry to be used to actually go into our country and do damage to our country, knowing that they're using this country called, what's the name of the country? Ukraine as a proxy state wherein they can actually declare war on Russia. Putin is saying, nah, it's like you want to play this game like you're not at war with us because you were throwing rocks and trying to hide your hands.
Right.
And now that you actually are allowing certain technological weapons to be used that you know that can destroy our infrastructure, and now it's right at our border. You think we're going to let you just do that? Like, no. Stop doing what you're doing, or else we have already, on what I read, the news report I saw where it's actually going live. Mm-hmm. He literally said, it's not a matter of if, it's when. It's up to y'all whether y'all want to do this or not. It's like it's not going to be too many more missiles you go shoot over here. And they branded, and I know that it's U.S. technology that's doing it. So, guess what? And we're powerless.
Yeah.
We're not even in that decision.
Right.
We're not even a part of that decision. We don't even get to choose if we want to be a part of this war or not. And it would almost appear that they are ushering this third world war or this nuclear war because they know if one Trump inaugurated and it's officiated that he's president, he'll turn this thing in another direction. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're almost hastening this thing to come. So right now, that's the only thing that's between us and nuclear war is faith. The only thing standing between our children and all the babies in this world from dealing with mass homicide is faith in God.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Are you going to Abraham? We talked to 3 men.
I haven't gone there, but we come on some text.
So I was going this when you saying that, right? Because most people say that Abraham is the father of faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Abrahamic faiths. And when you're speaking it, it reminds me of when Abraham, right? You talking about Yah walking with Abraham, but also Abraham walking with Yah.
Mm-hmm.
And that conversation, right? We believe that man that stayed behind out of those 3 men, we believe, right? We believe that was the father. And so when you look at the conversation, and I think that we have to start understanding the deep intimacy that Abraham really had with Yah. Because servants can't talk to a master servant. They can't. And even believe it or not, sons can't even talk. We don't see him refer to Abraham as a son, do we?
Mm-hmm.
He refers to him as a what? A friend. And so even when we go through the scriptural text and seeing how Yah describes a friend, and Abraham was that one who gave his life for Yah.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to the point, in the midst of Sodom and Gomorrah's wickedness, Abraham interceded. And although their sins had reached the heavens, Yah still was able to hear Abraham out and say, what if there was 10? What if there was this many? 1. Would you spare that city or country or state of wickedness? And he said, I would. And I think that's imperative to what Elder is saying. Probably didn't go that direction, but it's imperative because what if the reason, because technically if we're going to go by statistics, 400 years is up. Could it be that Yah is saving us because the righteous are praying and interceding just for, although it may be for the righteous, but the righteous is in this country?
Yes.
Could it be why America has not fallen yet? We can see all the wickedness is increasing, right? The love of many shall wax cold, but could the judgment be held up? Those 4 winds, as Mashiach said, be held up because the righteous are still here and praying to give us more opportunity, to repent.
Yes.
Just something I want y'all to think about.
And then to add too, he wanted reason to stand.
Yes.
Yeah, like you 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40.
Give me reason.
Give me reason to want to stay my
right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's
so don't think that Yah just because Yah could have went right past Abraham.
Facts.
Right. On those ways, those angels on their way for destruction. But he stopped by his friend's Abraham's house because there's always 3 witnesses in heaven and there's 3 witnesses on earth. Yes. And Yah said, I do nothing unless I reveal it to my servants, the prophets first. So he stopped by Abraham and say, hey, I'm about to go and nuke.
That's good. Because he didn't have to stay at that tent.
He didn't have to stay at that tent. He said, I'm about to go and nuke Sodom and Gomorrah. He said, so right now, I'm coming to you. No, there's not enough righteous there. But guess what? I'm really coming to you for your son, for your nephew. I'm coming there to you for your nephew. Because for whatever reason, he's in the midst of folly.
Ooh, that's deep. Oh, that's deep. Ooh, I need your counsel on this.
I need to stop by and talk to you. Right now, I'm on my way to go destroy a wicked place called Sodom and Gomorrah. And your nephew, your people there. So I need to have a conversation with you real quick.
Yeah.
And Abraham knowing that Sodom, he knowing that his son Lot was there.
Yeah.
He's petitioning. And because there's faith in the earth through Abraham, because there's faith in the earth, Yah is always looking for a reason to hold back his hand from destroying. So right now we're talking about faith because We are facing nuclear war right now.
Yeah.
I know everybody's caught up in Diddy. Everybody's caught up in social media, all the controversies, who's doing what Cardi B is doing, what President Trump is doing. But right now, these people don't understand how Shaitan hates humanity.
Right. Right.
Satan hates humanity, but these people that are the minions of Satan, the living minions of Satan, are so foolish. They have been deceived into thinking that somehow they can topple Yah's kingdom and his control over his creation.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan has no permission into this realm of this reality without man. So he has to rear up and influence wicked men in order to make sure his desires to destroy man would happen. But Yah always has to raise up a righteous seed in the midst of that destruction. Because remember, Satan is what? He is the accuser of the brethren. He is the prosecuting attorney. Huh? He is the prosecuting attorney pleading to destroy man because of their guilt of sin.
Can I say something real quick?
Come.
And I want to say this, right? Because me and you know, there's a controversy right now. It's honestly been going on for a couple years where there's a controversy about leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, granted, there's a lot of wicked leadership out there. You really understand what we're talking about, the context of this. This is why, no matter what we say as a people, y'all don't despise leadership. Leadership, believe it or not, leadership is actually not just for us, but it's for him too. Because knowing Yah, if you really look at Yah's character, he wants the smoke. He wants it. He wants to destroy all humanity. He told that to Noah. He told that to Abraham. He told that to Moses. I will make a people out of you. Forget them. What you in my way for? He told the prophets, bro, stop praying for him. I'm coming. Stop praying for him. Why am I saying that? Because the reality, if it wasn't for intercessors, if it wasn't for counselors, if it wasn't for judges like Deborah, if it was not for the prophets, the disciples, the apostles, we all would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make that very clear. No matter how people want to talk about leadership, at the end of the day, if you fall for faulty leadership, it's because you didn't have discernment. It didn't say the blind is leading the leader is blind. They say the blind is leading the blind. It's accountability on both sides. So when you really look at how Abraham was moving, bro, the reality is his nephew, Lot, be on his knees thanking Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Israel should be on their knees thanking Moses. And I'm not giving them the credit. I'm just trying to show you that if it wasn't for particular anointed, righteous people, as a nation, we would be doomed. Forget nation, as humanity.
Yes.
As humanity, we'll be finished. And we had men who were anointed, and we had women who were anointed. If it was not for rising up, we've been cooked. We've been cooked. If Esther didn't step up, we've been cooked. So when we look at it, I'm speaking on this because Israel got to find balance in their faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've been hurt as a people, for real, by leadership too. We've been persuaded in the wrong direction as a people. But if anything, rather than forsaking the leadership y'all put up, maybe we should be praying for more discernment in our faith. Because that's what's going. Why do you think there's going to be a false Messiah? Because there's going to be people who constantly falling for fake leadership, going to fall for a false Messiah too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason that there's a false Antichrist coming. There's a reason for Antichrist coming. Because y'all knew there's going to be foolish ones. Mm-hmm. He said even the righteous will fall for it. So you know that we have this mentality of needing a sheep. So rather than trying to forsake us or needing a shepherd, rather than trying to forsake a shepherd in that way, pray for better discernment of making sure you see Messiah in that servant.
Yes.
I just want to hear on that.
No, hallelujah. Because if you don't understand that, Yah always raises up a righteous seed in every generation. Because Yah is slow in wrath and quick in mercy. Yah is not reflexive. He's not reflexive of our actions.
Right.
He weighs our actions. Our actions are being weighed. But that's why he said, I desire that all men come to repentance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because nobody can even fathom an eternity in Yah's wrath.
No.
So here we are. Why are we talking about faith? Because we're going to need faith.
Yeah.
We're going to need faith. We're going to need intercessors that have enough faith to stop the hand of the enemy. And even when I was looking at for the past week, we don't really, I think that people are not really fathoming how close we are to the nuclear missile coming over here and disintegrating us. And this is not to induce fear, but this is to induce faith. To understand that if you don't understand that Yah is in full control, if you know that he's in full control, then you have a responsibility to make sure when he's recompensing man for their deeds, that he remembers the righteous. That remembers us. Sitting here with our mouths closed. We have to start petitioning. Now I have peace in my spirit that it won't be, but we still have to be studious and be active in our faith to understand that we, the righteous, only thing that's standing in between the judgment of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
We are the only ones, we are the stewards of Yah's mercy. So the only way you will actually know how powerful faith is if you understand how it works. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So let's go to it. What truly is faith? In the realm and the world system, it is an abstract idea because it is the belief and trust in something that cannot be seen or touched. Therefore, it is an inferior, subjective, and antiquated concept for the ideologically ignorant segments of society. What am I saying? I'm saying among the scientists, among the atheists, among the agnostics, among the intelligentsia, among the well-learned, faith is something stupid.
Right.
Not understanding, and I always say this when we talk about faith, that what is the American economy established on? Faith in what? Faith in the dollar. So don't tell me you don't have no faith.
Right.
Every time you swipe your card, you believe in the money's gonna be in there, even though the transaction, you don't even got physical money no more. You have enough faith that what's in that bank, that debit card, you swipe it, is gonna pull it out and make a transaction for you for that food. One day that can get turned off. They're planning to turn that off if you acquiesce to their commands and what they want you to resign to make you into a slave to the beast system. We are all being seduced and integrated into the beast system. And fear is one of the tools in which most of us will acquiesce or surrender.
It's called the art of war. The art of war.
Because if somebody tells you, hey, you Hebrew Israelites or you Christians, whatever it is, right now your religion and your belief system is offensive, to the LGBT community. And so long as you believe this, we're cutting off your debit card. Huh? Or forget the debit card. We're going to transition from a debit card into a chip or whatever it may be. And at that point, is your faith strong enough to believe that Yah can preserve you through that thing? Or you just go say, well, you know what, man, heck, I walk around with a debit card. What's the difference? I'm just getting, instead of having a little chip on the card, I'm just getting it in my hand. What's the difference? Huh? But if you read Leviticus, he said, and the law shall be in your heart and in your hand.
Yes. Yes.
So that's our chip.
That's a fact.
That's saying written in our foreheads that is our master.
That's your authority.
And we're only going to put our hands to what he tells us to do. Huh? Do you have enough faith when that system tries to transition that your baby for a week or your baby may have to starve? And right on the third week, you surrender, but knowing that Yah already had made a way. He had already seen the ravens are on the way to feed you. Or your baby sitting there crying, like, man, my baby gotta eat. Or you gonna be edified by the promises of Yah?
Yep.
Are you gonna have faith in what Yah's word says? Hell, Yah gave you the enemy's blueprint. He tells you how this ends. But faith is an attitude. We talked about attitude last week. It's a position. It's a way of thinking. It's when your mind and heart is fixed on Yah's word. It's fixed on what Mashiach said concerning you.
Okay.
However, in the Hebraic world, it is the cornerstone in which all realities derives, subsist, and persist. Go to Hebrews 11:3.
If y'all can see the screen, type some threes in the chat. Y'all can see the screen. I just want to make sure. Can y'all see the scripture? Type some threes in the chat. Okay, Cam.
We good?
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to say it a little slower. In the Hebraic world or Hebraic cosmos, I want you guys to know, anytime I'm referring to the Hebraic, I'm referring to Abraham. I'm referring to the faith of our father Abraham. He is the establisher of the truth in the earth. Well, I ain't gonna say Yah established it by way of giving Abraham, making covenant with Abraham, but Abraham is the superintendent or the father of the faith. So he is our precursor to faith. We look at his testimony to see how he stood with Yah, walked with Yah, and came out because Yah's word told him to. By faith, we can go to him and get our trust that because he's our father and he did what he did in kind and in response to Yah's directive, we can go back to him and say, he's our Abba. We're going to what our Abba did with our Elohim. That is our obligation under the covenants between our three patriarchs. And in the Abrahamic world, by faith, everything that exists now is in Yah's word. Read it.
It's the book of Ibrahim, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Through Amunah, faith,
Through faith, go ahead.
we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim.
So Yah used faith to frame the world and everything created. This should tell you the potency of faith, how powerful faith is.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
So the things which are seen were not made of things that do appear. Everything that Yah made was brought out of the abstract, out of the non-seeable, the non-touchable, and his faith was so mighty when he spoke it, it materialized.
Became tangible.
It became tangible and physical and became matter. See, we be in awe with Dragon Ball Z, right? Or DC superheroes. But all that shows you is strength in flesh. But when you think of Yah's text, when you think of Yah's creative power, he's something out of nothing. He materializes something out of nothing. I'll say it again. He makes something out of nothing. He takes matter, he produces matter out of antimatter, the opposite of matter, and produces and brings it into being, into the tangible world. Read that again.
Okay. Go back. Invisible reality. Okay. Trying to get a little ahead of it. This is Hebrews 11, verse 3. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear.
So think of faith. It seems so minuscule, right? Because it's belief. Because it seems like nothing. It's only good as to a person who believes it. Don't you hear that? Right? I wish I'm trying to translate what I'm seeing in my spirit and verbalize it. Think about it. When Yah is forming, when he created everything, he took his word, and within it was every atom, every proton, every neuron right in our head, every proton, every atom, right? And once he spoke it, he knew, because he says, he who believes in Yah must believe and must know that he is God, and is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. When Yah looked, there was nobody by him. He's self-existent, and he's moving in a whole nother dimension we can't even imagine.
Okay.
And he says, because there's no other thing beside me, he said, let me begin to create with my word. And my word, it comes out of me, and everything I tell it to do, it begins to work, mold, and shape into being.
Can I share something?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna put my science hat on real quick, right? So I did a study with some people, right? And I was led to, on this specific topic of a presentation, I holistic form teach on belief and faith. Did y'all know? Everybody heard of placebo effect? So they did an experiment, like as of the last 20 years. They did 3 groups. They did one who actually got the synthetic medicine. They did another who got nothing. And then the placebo effect, which they took something, most of the time is sugar, but they told them what was in it so they can believe in it, right? And so they found out not only did just belief itself work about 50% as good as regular medicine, but they're even showing results now that you see doctors, this actual real war right now in the medical field of doctors who want to literally fight. They're trying to discredit it as we talk the faith. They don't believe it. They just trying to pretty much discredit it and use it scientifically. But there's doctors now fighting, like University of Michigan, University of Oxford, they're saying no, the placebo effect is actually more effective than medicine. And they said they saw people from osteoporosis, diabetes. I got the articles right now. They are showing that when people believe that they release something, there's something called cellotosis, where the cells, if they have belief, the cells will actually start to detox themselves with nothing, with no substance. It's called a cellular detox. They will start to detox themselves off the belief, releasing this dopamine, releasing the serotonin, releasing melatonin, to actually detox the cell on its own without any herb, without any synthetic medicine, without food. And this is you can look this up right now. They actually released an article back in July 2024 that this is a real war of saying, there's doctors saying, no, now we have a system. They say that this was their exact words. We're going to start implementing more faith-based medicine versus synthetic medicine. And you got some doctors who was like, yeah, we seen it work, but we don't want to give it that much credit. Why am I saying that? Because you see this whole thing shifting, and the faith of the righteous is prevailing. They're showing that if you put the right environment and have people believe that it worked, that your body would naturally detox itself with. Not just you, we ain't gonna give you nothing and just that, or not just giving you medicine, but if we can put a belief system in you, that your body even start to adapt and change to your belief. So what came to mind was the woman with the 12 years of bleeding. That everybody touched Mashiach, but it was that one who had.
Stop, get out my lesson.
My bad, man. I just wanted to show y'all because y'all led me, and this was over 100 people that I did this lesson with. That I showed them that it's about your belief. I'm a herbalist, but I tell you, you got to have a relationship with God first. I can't do nothing if you don't have that. That's the first thing. So I'm just, what am I saying? This is going on a lesson that you can, your faith will cause death not to come upon you. Your faith will cause you not to be sick. So when I hear, and what got me into, because like you see people older than, they eat the worst, but somehow they live in the 90s something. And what I found out, the difference between that generation and us is they had more faith. They were more into the church. They were more faithful to the belief of Jesus Christ. They were faithful. A lot of us just do it because we program. They had a reason to believe.
Hallelujah. Yes.
They had a reason. That was the sole difference between those who eat bad in that generation and us. Is that not only do we eat bad, but the reality of we're what they call it, we free spirited. We're spiritual now. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But even in spirit, you got to have faith in something. So when you got this doctrine teaching to believing in yourself, and you ain't healing, what that tell you?
Yeah. Even God tells you he gave herbs for what?
The healing of the nations.
He gave herbs for the healing of the nations, the healing of the body. He gave herbs. But what's the potency in that? The potency is that Yah said it.
Yep.
Because you said this can obtain healing, I'm going to utilize it because your word, I'm mixing my faith with what your word say concerning this herb.
Yes.
It's not just a fancy concept that somebody came up with. Because your word tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that you are a creator, you know everything about us, and you know everything that we need. And if herbs is one of its subscriptions, then so be it.
Okay.
But it's because your word said it.
Yes.
So I'm having faith in your word that this is going to work.
And watch this. And this is how you know it's bigger than herbs. What else did Yah use to heal the people? Who remembers in the Torah?
The priest.
Outside, just minus the priest. Just showing you that he can use anything. What else did he use? What did What did Mashiach say in John? As the what was lifted.
The serpent.
The serpent. Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the story? Israel sinned and
The brass and serpent. Yeah.
he used a brass serpent. He said, look upon this, and you shall be healed.
Yes.
Why am I saying that? It don't matter what it is. It's the base, the fundamental principle is faith that whatever Yah say shall come to pass. Yes. He said, look at the serpent, then there it is. It's so. He said, use the herbs, then there it is. It is so. He said, have faith, then there it is. It is so. He said, do something. Like Noah, he told Noah to build up. If you be saved, I'll be saved.
Yes. Hallelujah. That's it. But you got to have that relationship with Yah.
Yeah, this is one.
Huh? Your relationship with Yah. You can't, if I don't know this man, I might believe anything he really says. Mm-hmm. But when two walk together, they be agreed with him. Ooh. You start thinking like he thinking. The next thing you know, you go from servant to son, from son to friend. Yeah. Next thing he's saying, what do you think? Nadiah? What do you say? What do you say about it? I say this. Then so be it according to your word. If it ain't gonna rain for 3 days, Elijah, so be it according to your word. Because now you're thinking like me.
And the post is that is he actually talking to himself. He's talking to himself because he see himself in you.
Do what you gotta do. That's what he told Peter. He gonna give him the keys. To shut up heaven and earth. Oh my gosh. Go to John 1. Remember, by faith the world, right? Okay. Let's see who the world was created by what? By faith, through faith, what? Mm-hmm. By the word. Go ahead.
John 1:1.
Go ahead.
In the beginning was the word.
In the beginning was the word.
And the word was with Elohim.
So, wait. So in the beginning was the word. Mm-hmm. Huh? In the beginning was the word. When we go back to Hebrew, he tells us that by faith, well, through faith, by the word, the worlds were created. And this is even before he's declared the only begotten son.
I don't know if you're going, I hope not, but you're talking about even wisdom. Wisdom created the earth. And what did he say about how will our wisdom be declared? By what? Faith and also keeping his word. Mm-hmm. We getting the ingredients right here.
So you look at the word is the power.
Yeah.
The word is the authority.
Yes.
Your faith mixed with the word is making sure you come in an agreement by faith with his word. So you're letting yourself be made obvious to the word that you see me as Yah's power.
Yeah.
So I give you permission to utilize me. That so whatever you pray in my name, my Father will do for you. Go ahead.
In the beginning was the word, and the word was with Elohim, and the word was Elohim.
And the word was Elohim. Oh my gosh. we ain't going there. Go ahead, read. Let's read.
The same was in the beginning with Elohim. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
So by the word, God created with things that were not seen. He brought the tangible from the untangible. Mm-hmm. Brought it into existence. Mm-hmm. Imagine the word being your toolbox. No, let's do this. Let's say, yeah, that's a big toolbox, right? Let's imagine the word as the schematics. and your faith is the tools. That Yah gives you all outlay. And this is the part. Yah gives us the vision of his will, how he wants us to build, and we have to engage our faith in him. Basically, Yah say, show up. Show up. You got the job. Show up. Show up and do the job. But because he's not seen, you have to have something that's untangible to move in his realm so you could bring it into this realm. Verse 3.
Verse 3.
1 and 3. John 1 and 3.
All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life.
Pause at 3. Stop. All were made by him, and without him not anything made. What all things were made by him?
All things. Heavens, earth, sea, creation.
Everything.
Everything.
What was used?
Faith.
With word. Through faith. Yah said I could swear by no higher. Huh? But to himself. So guess what? I have to create some. I have to pull a piece of me out of me to bear witness of me. I'm going to make me into the form of son.
Because remember who was first supposed to be that? It was supposed to be a. Remember, that was the precursor. He said, I will make them in my likeness and my image. The first was earthy. The second one was spirit.
A quickening spirit.
My bad. He got me excited.
So Yah pulls a son out of him.
Yeah.
Says, you know what? Go, son. Go do what I tell you to do. Yes, Abba. They're having this conversation with one another. What? My word is so alive and so obedient. What can I deem you? How about a son? Then Paul tells us that in Ephesians, this is the mystery of Christ. But Christ tells us, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father.
He's telling them right there. You looking at him.
Oh, but they said there's none good but the Father. You're right. You're right. There is none good but the Father. Therefore, look at my works, what I do.
He kept pointing back.
He kept pointing back. If you can't believe me for nothing else, look at what I do. I'm showing you that in me is the Father.
You can't make this stuff up.
Genesis 1 and 1. We walking this thing back.
Yeah.
Genesis 1 and 1.
You're gonna back him in the corner, huh? In the what was it? In the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the water.
Moved upon the face. That means agitated. So when Yah's spirit was moving on the face of the deep, it was without form, it was without void, it was nothing but chaos. And the spirit of Yah agitated. It began to agitate the deep. Guess what? Verse 3, read.
And Elohim said, let there be light.
He said what?
Let there be light. And there was light.
And there was light. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Then he's telling us now the word right here. He said, let there be.
So that light was the light of man.
Let be. Speaking and saying, let be.
Maybe I'm thinking too deep. Could that be the reason why we majority made of water? He can rattle up our spirit. He can move upon our spirit, and that he can put light in us, which is why that he is the light of man. Living waters. That our water can be dead. And in him he make spring forth. Because the only water that's alive is spring water.
See, when he said he moved upon the face of the deep, that meant obscurity, that meant darkness.
Yes.
Isaiah 60 tells us that the world should be in a gross darkness.
Ooh-wee.
See, this is really another Genesis. Anytime Yah is breathing, his spirit is breathing on darkness, he's bringing creation or a new creation.
Yes.
You must be born again of the water and the spirit. So the world is in utter darkness. Yeah, we got the sun out there. Yeah, we got the moon still shining. We got the stars, but ignorance of man. The spirit of truth comes in, agitate the waters that's on our body, within our body. Then he quickens us.
Ooh.
See, when I say the scripture can't be broken, I'm talking about it's a constant, consistent, perpetual. God doesn't do anything new.
Right.
He just does the same thing in different facets. Though unwittingly seen, I'm talking about faith. Though faith unwittingly seen, in other words, unknowingly, you can't see it, and touched by the human faculty, in other words, the human five senses. Faith can be touched by the human faculty, his five senses: taste, touch, hear, see. It is the very substantive corroboration. When I'm saying corroboration, I'm talking about agreement of man's ability to move interdimensionally. When you corroborate, when you walk with Yah, you can move dimensionally past this plane of existence.
Come on now.
Past the veil of the seen into the unseen. Why do you think most prophets had visions and said, I looked and I saw God, I saw Yah high and lifted up, and his trains filled the room, and I saw angels crying, holy, holy, holy. Because he pierced the veil that's between us, this natural realm, and into the spirit realm, and saw Yah in his majesty.
Was it Philip? Where he said that the heavens opened up like a scroll. He saw the Mashiach sitting at the
right hand of the Father. Getting stoned.
Getting stoned, yes. Man.
This man getting stoned. And he ain't even tangible. He's there, but he's looking up. He's not even, his spirit man ain't even there. Ain't feeling none of it. I saw in asunder.
That's the power.
See, this the thing. When you die for Yah, you don't feel it. Because to be dead is to be present with Christ. Oh my gosh. But if you carnal minded, you stuck here.
That's what consecration means. Loosen all natural senses. When you consecrate in the Mashiach, when you consecrate it in Yah, you don't feel none of this from this life. Think about this. Remember when the python bit Paul? He's sitting there on the fire, bit him, threw it off, and the barbarians like
kept preaching.
He said, "What is this? God?
Is he a god?
Is he a god?
He got
How did he just? That's the deadliest. He got bit by this. Yeah, by the deadliest snake around. Shook that thing off. Is he a god? Keep in mind, from their perspective in Greek mythology, a demigod.
Yes. And this is actually being shipwrecked.
Yeah.
Paul used to get beat. I mean, let's say it like that. He used to get his ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
He used to get mobbed. Like, he used to get beat.
Yeah.
He said he'd been beat thrice.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about no. This man was beat. Beat.
Not by just one person either, at a time.
He get back up.
Yeah. Shake it on.
Wipe the blood off. Thus saith Christ.
That's different. Ain't nobody like that.
And he said, I count it all joy. So he said, I count none of the present sufferings, this world not to be compared to the greater glory to be revealed. Mm-hmm. This man wasn't here most of the time.
No. That's why I said I'm with you in
spirit. That man's faith was so high, he was so sold out, he was so converted. That man said, I'm only here for your.
This is why people stumble. It's not that he's teaching confusion, but he's talking so much on a high level of spirituality with y'all that we're still reading from a carnal mind. So in our carnality, we think he's saying the law is done away with. Mm-hmm. All he's saying is, I've embodied the law. I don't need no book no more. You Negroes need it.
He's saying the law for y'all now, because y'all law, because y'all.
I don't need it.
He said, I don't lie. I don't need none to tell me not to lie, because I'm not a liar. I don't need none to tell me thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's whatever, because I don't covet, Negro.
The school master is only for those who still need the education.
Right.
You got to graduate at some point. A lot of us still in kindergarten.
That's why I say the Christ is the end of the law.
The end. Once you reach that,
the end of it.
Once you reach that, you don't need it.
The finished product. That's it.
That's it. He's the blueprint. He's the goal. He's the direction. He's the destination.
Man,
see, they think that I'm sorry, T, I'm sorry. But they really think that they're saying the law is done away with. No. All he's saying is that you should reach a point where you no longer need a page and book.
Or what Paul called the deadness of the letter. He said until that thing jumped, those words jump off the page of that, as long as it stays on the page of that book and it never comes to your heart, it's dead. He said, but once it comes into you, you quicken by it.
Quicken.
Then you become a law unto yourself.
And this is exactly why the children of the world are more wise than us, because they still keep the fundamental principles, even if it's in wickedness. Even the lawless have a law, and they use that law pretty well.
We don't even understand why Mashiach said that about the wicked, because he actually sometimes has more faith.
Facts. Facts. That's a fact.
You think these people are able to build airplanes because they lack faith? Huh? You think these people huh? You think these people are able to find cures for stuff? You think these people have been able to conquer nations? You know what their doctrine is? Manifest destiny.
Yeah.
And they believe it. They believe God gave them the right to rule, which is really our birthright.
Yeah.
And because we squandered, God gave it to them for a season. Gave it to the Gentiles. And their doctrine is manifest destiny.
Yeah.
They believe they have the rule.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up. Look at manifest destiny. You see it. We'll read this again. Though unwittingly seen and touched by the human faculty, it is the very substantive corroboration of man's ability to move interdimensionally past the veil of the seen into the unseen. Hebrews 11:1.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
We're going to go back to that. Read that one more time.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Now, wait. I want you to read what it says in the Greek. From here.
For faith. Oh, okay.
Now remember this, it says hypostasis.
Hypostasis.
Yeah.
Okay. It says setting under support that is physically, concretely essence or abstractly assurance, objectively or subjectively confidence, confident, person, substance.
Substance. I want you to remember person. Because remember, I said our faith actually brings our presence to Yah. That's how we get in God's throne room. That's how we actually come into the space where Yah is. See, our faith is tangible to Yah. Just like sin comes as a stink in his nose. That's why he put layers in the Shemayim between us and him. Because sin is putrid to him. I won't even go there. I'll leave that there. We're going to see that how faith actually puts us, your faith is no different than me coming in and asking More, hey, give me $5. Believe it or not, that's how easy faith is.
Yeah.
In the name of Yeshua.
Okay.
Let me have $5, Father. Oh, my son. You coming in the authority in the name of my son who was, oh, okay. You understand, I see you. Okay, we're going to get into it. Faith was and continues to be the pillar that serves as the agency between man and his creator. It gives you to move defensively and offensively in this life's experience. What I'm saying, when you have faith, it actually you can get the authority to actually to act and respond to things that's for you, how to grab hold of the things that's for you, pull it into the spirit realm, out of the spirit into the natural. But it also has the authority to repel the spiritual and put it back in its place, demonically. He says if you resist the devil, he will flee. You think that's all? I'm just going to. Why he's still slapping and beating up on you? Or do you have the discernment to recognize there's an unclean spirit in my Hashatan Yah rebuke you. I come in under the authority of Yeshua HaMashiach, and I denounce every plan and scheme that you have for me. Your faith has that authority. That's why he doesn't want you to know faith.
Right.
Because the faith that when you have that kind of faith, you can resist and repel him. Repel projecting niggas and witches.
Yep.
You could repel the onslaught of voices coming in your head, making you doubt you in the disguise of your own voice.
Right.
Mashiach said, I'm giving you the ability to tread upon scorpions. Huh? Do you believe that?
Or you just go sit there and let Satan massage your mind.
Right.
Just stroking your mind. You know you ain't commit suicide. Hey, what's the sense of being here? And he puts it in the third person. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm depressed. Man, I'm broke. I'm always broke. Sometimes it ain't even you. But he just all in your head, all in your mind, just tearing you up.
Mm-hmm.
And all he's doing is disguising it under the word of iron.
Right.
Iron.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have been washing your mind with the word, you will know that no, Satan, Yah's thoughts towards me are good and not evil to bring me to an expected end.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
My soul thirsted for his salvation.
I have been redeemed, washed in the blood of the Lamb that was slain from the foundations of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's faith. It gives the ability, I already read that. Faith is no less real than a hammer to pound a nail to construct a home, money to obtain goods and services, a partner to achieve the success of a business.
Yeah.
Faith is that real. If you have faith, to have faith. And this is why in Mashiach, the man said, Mashiach, what did he tell him? He said, give me faith, or give me faith, give me faith.
Mm-hmm.
The man, he knew he didn't have the faith, but he knew Mashiach was real. So he said, give me, strengthen me. I know you real, but in me, there's faith. I'm weak in my faith.
Mm.
Faith is a principle, not merely an idea. It carries unlimited weight and authority depending upon the person's wielding it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not seen. Once Yah told you or told you something, it's done, data. It's good as done. But do your faith have the ability to make it evidence? Does it have the purchasing power to bring that thing out of the unseen or out of the unintangible and to make it manifest in this reality?
Mm-hmm.
We know when in tandem with God's word, the impossible becomes well within our reach. Hebrews 4:1.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left.
You shall fear that a promise being left of you. You should read this word and you should be fearful that you don't get what Yah told you to get.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be doubting if you can get it because it's a promise. Yah can't lie. If it's a promise, it's a promise.
Mm-hmm.
You should fear that you don't have the faith to get the promise. You shouldn't fear the fear. You should fear not getting the promise. Mm-hmm. Hallelujah.
A promise being left us of entering into his rest. Any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them.
So the same gospel was preached to our fathers in the wilderness. Don't let these or these unbelievers or these ignorant to the word tell you that something is different than our fathers went.
Right.
They were given the same gospel, the same good news. The good news was that you will enter into his promises if you obey him. The gospel ain't new. It's just on this loop until it's done, until it's completed. Yah's not like us. He don't start a new work over and over again. He does the last thing until we told to do.
The last thing.
Do the last thing you told to do. Well, that's a principle Yah does.
Right.
Not going to make you a promise and you don't get that promise and he moved on to something else.
That's why I tell you in Sirach have the right prayed and I not forsook them.
Yeah.
He gives the prayer. Like, have I said something that I did not do?
David said, "I've not seen the righteous
Taking no seed, begging bread."
Mm-hmm.
Read.
For unto us was the gospel preached as well unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Word preached did not profit them.
The right ingredients.
No.
They didn't have the right ingredients.
Speaking of what Maury spoke about, the placebo effect, it has that kind of power, right? Somebody can believe they can get healed, and they can actually have that much faith and get healed even outside of Yah. You're not going to receive Yah's promises,
Right.
because your faith must be in alignment with his word.
Mm-hmm.
But the principle of faith stands.
Yep.
So we should fear not getting a promise. But what happens with most people when they don't get what Yah told them they can have or get? Guess what happens? They become heavy-hearted, then they become unbelieving. Because what happens when a hope is deferred? It brings heaviness of spirit on. But let me tell you. And then most people walk out of the faith. They walk out of the promises because their faith was small.
Yeah.
Their faith was small. And they say, oh man, God didn't really tell me that. God didn't really tell me that that's what to do, be doing what have. Now you're calling me a liar because of your unbelief. And that's why he says without faith it's impossible to please him. It's impossible to please him. Convicting, right? Because I'm sure all of us have things flashing behind us where we thought that we moved on because we didn't achieve something or get something that we not told us we could have. And next thing you know, we go into a whole nother place. God ain't like that. He said in him there is no variance and nor shadow of turning. So in order to get back right with him, you got to go back to your first works.
That's it.
You got to go back to the last thing he told you to do. If you're struggling with the fact that you didn't get the last promise, if you're really struggling with the fact that you didn't have enough belief, if Yah told you to go give something, you didn't have faith that he would give you 100-fold. Yah told you to bless somebody. Sometimes he's telling us, open your hand, give alms, open your so I can put something in it. You hold so tight to your little bit of change that I can't even give you nothing. Give and it shall be given. Y'all, some Negroes, some Hebrew Israelites will get a hold of this and say that I'm a Christian preacher. And you know why? Because they're ignorant to Yah's what pleases Yah.
Yeah.
They think that the Torah is just to get you in right standing. Just so Yah can even begin to just really see you. But guess what? The heathens got more faith than the people. What happened to the woman that literally said, "My daughter's sick"?
Right.
The Mashiach said, "Meat to give bread to dogs. The children bread belong to him." He said, but she said, but even the crumbs of the master table
The dog even eat.
fall in the door. And so she, guess what? Her faith postured herself as a dog. Mashiach turned around and said, "You know what? I have not seen so much faith in all of Israel."
Mm-hmm.
This stranger woman knew that the presence of God was before her and that he can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, "Give me the crumbs. I'll take those then." Oh, yeah. He said, "I see you." He turned around. I bet he turned around like, "What? Say that again." Because he's going among his people, seeking that which is lost, and they don't even know who he is in the midst.
But yeah, she did.
And yet she did. Say, "Go, your daughter's healed. Don't even worry about it. Go. You don't even." He had to go there and lay hands and say, "Hamina, hamina, hamina," or no, get a crystal ball and get some crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Say, by your faith, don't worry about it. Go to your child.
Yeah. Centurion,
Did it with the centurion.
You actually see y'all give more credit of faith to the heathen, the Gentiles, than Israel.
Yes.
And that's what Israelites today don't want to talk about. They want to talk about them being put in chains. They want to talk about this. They probably clip this too. But the reality is the Gentiles, even in the very Bible, y'all recognize has more faith than us.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he said, put this book on the side of the ark, for it will testify you this day. It will testify you. Because that's always been our problem. That we want to be like the Gentiles while the Gentiles trying to be like us.
Facts. He literally tells us that he said, "I want you to go out and be a nation of kings and priests. That when the nations look at you, they'll say, 'Oh, what such a wise people.'"
Mm-hmm.
What?
What favor have they earned with God?
Yeah, what favor? What? Like, look at these people. It's astounding. Look how they're decorated. Look at the wisdom they exude. But we want to be a bunch of lame ducks. God tell us to dress this way. We want to dress another way. We're going to always be contrary. That's why he called us prudish children.
So the ox knows his owner and the ass is master.
But my people
But it's
consider.
not know. Nor did they
Consider. And I always say, you think Yah is more pissed off, not just about your sin, but he's pissed off that he don't get to bless you. He's a lot more angry the fact that you don't allow him, you don't comply enough where you can enter into his promises. That pisses him off more than just your disobedience. Because when he sees us walking and operating in compliance and obedience by faith, it brings him joy. And he sees that there's faith in the earth. Ain't that what he's looking for? He's coming to see if there's faith in the earth. So even in the midst of us looking at World War III, a nuclear war, we actually get to please him. We actually get to be shown off by having faith. Man, I want my faith to be so high. If I see what they call interstellar ballistic missile fall, see that thing drop, boom, without explosion. I say it in the and I say it in the angels kicks it out the air or kicks it outside of the atmosphere. Huh?
Elijah was made to bring down fire from heaven.
Elijah brought down fire from heaven. And we read it. study. The man didn't put no doggone lighter fluid on the sacrifice. He put water on it.
Yeah. Like a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
He put water on it. He said, "No, water it again. I want to make sure those logs are good and soaked with water.
He's gonna make sure that the impossible gonna be possible.
Make sure the impossible. We're gonna defy science.
Yep.
We're gonna defy the elements. Because water is contrary to fire.
Yep.
Mm. But he said he made his ministers a flame of fire. See, I want my faith so high, brother, that when y'all see me, I don't care if you don't see none of you Negroes. You go see me. Mm-hmm. I'm but I'm saying that to hopefully to boast the jealousy in you. Huh? Put a godly jealousy in you that you want to have faith. Mm-hmm. That in spite of what you see. That a 100 shall fall at my what?
At my side.
Then at my right side, right?
But it should not come.
But it should not come nigh me.
Mm.
Do you have that much faith in the word? He will give you angels charge. So guess what charge over you? That means that all those angels have been given. They are command. If you got it in you, charge over you, but you also got the ability to actually charge.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
What did Elijah tell his servant when those armies was coming? He said, open their eyes, Abba, so he could see that there be more for us than against us. Mm-hmm. And his eyes was open, and all he seen was thousands and thousands of angels. Y'all better recognize who we serve.
Yeah. You
better get it in your spirit, because he says in those days the just shall live by faith.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go through this, right? We'll keep just read. Hebrews 4. We'll go run this, because this is the discourse on Hebrews 11.
By faith, Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice.
Go ahead. By faith, what?
Abel offered Elohim a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. Elohim testified his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh.
Wait. Oh my God. Abel's blood was so righteous that even when he was dead, it was still alive and could talk to Yah, and it cried out.
Yeah.
But here's the deep part, right? How is it by faith Abel knew what Yah wanted?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How by faith did Abel know the sacrifice to give to Yah? You know how he knew? He had a relationship. And he knew that life is in the blood. Mm-hmm. And he knows that Yah requires blood. Mm-hmm. Because in the blood, there's life.
Yeah.
But he knew that by faith. So what does that tell you? Faith can give you supernatural knowledge and insight. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Elohim had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony, that he pleased Elohim.
So, you know what Enoch's testimony was? And what he had faith? He had faith in his testimony that he pleased God. If you're doubting that you please God because you're not doing for God, then you're not going to be able to actually see Yah's ability to move on your behalf through faith.
Right.
Do you understand? You get it. Like, for real, do you really get it? Like, because you got to understand that Enoch knew he pleased God. It wasn't boastful. It wasn't about pride. He had an assurance that he was doing what Yah told him to do.
Right.
So he had faith that God would translate him. He wouldn't see death.
Mm-hmm.
Study for the finals. Like, oh yeah, I'll study.
Mm-hmm.
Book study for past.
Right.
Like, I'm
That's it. Everybody say, I think Mike Tyson said, and I've heard it before, right? Games are won in the practice, in the rehearsal.
Yep.
That's where they won. Enoch knew he was practicing, rehearsing the righteous act before Yah.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm. So he had faith that he wouldn't even see death. Because the wages of what?
Sin is death.
So the man must have been righteous enough in Yah's sight where he was translated. He didn't even see death. He passed by as he went by the door of death.
Mm.
Go ahead.
But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Elohim must believe that he is.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. This is why we got to pray for unbelief. But I want everybody here and in the listening audience on the live. Do you believe God is?
Damn. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you believe he's God?
Hallelujah.
Then this should build up your faith. Go ahead.
But he that cometh to Elohim must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
This the secret. You know you believe he's God by diligently seeking him.
And what did he say? He said, seek me when?
Early, that I may be found. And that could mean waking up early, morning, right? But that also can mean look for him before he looks for you.
I will visit you.
What happens if we take how many steps to him?
Hmm?
It says if you take what, 2 steps? He said I would come to you 10. What's that in
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I gotta go back there. I gotta confirm that. But I think it's in this Sirach.
Oh, yeah, he said seek me 10 times early.
Yeah.
Seek me 10 times more.
Yeah. So when we come to him and we look to him, guess what? It's like meeting him in the road. But that's what substantiates your faith.
Yes.
Believing him, saying that he is God, isn't sitting back on your backside.
Right.
You believe him, you prove you did him by diligently what? Seeking him. Go ahead.
Verse 7. By faith, Noach, being warned of Elohim of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith.
So guess what? Another way your faith is on display by warning.
Ooh,
Huh? Y'all may be warning you to do something in the midst of where it looks like absolutely nothing is going on. Right now, if you look at most of the world, I don't even think that there's Third World War even at the cusp, at the door.
Right.
But right here, us talking about faith, we're actually by warning, we're saying we're going to talk about faith because like Noah, that's preparing us for whatever may come.
Yes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went.
Guess what? Sometimes your faith means you will have to just put your 2 feet in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, without y'all. Where I'm going? Walk, Negro. Walk. Which way do I walk? Do I walk? No, I just said walk. I may have already turned you in the direction to go. Just walk. Go ahead.
By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Yitzchak and Yaakov, the heirs with him of the same promise.
Do you understand that when Abraham got to the land and stopped, he stopped right in the midst of the promise and didn't even see it until Yah came and told him and cut the covenant. He said, I'm going to give you this land.
Right. Right.
Sometimes we're right in the midst of our promise and don't even know it. And this is what we was talking about. Sometimes we don't know. It could be what Yah has for it. We could be right in the midst of. And we're waiting on him to tell us this is the promise.
Yeah.
This is where you're supposed to be. It may be a dry place, but you don't know if I'm going to water it and turn that desert and turn that wilderness into a garden. Go ahead.
Look for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is Elohim.
Go ahead.
Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age.
When she don't think that this means she receives strength like they have a strong uterus. This means her womb was healed.
Yes. Yes.
Barren. This is important. I just want to make sure that you see this, right? What does it say right here?
Miraculous power, implication of a miracle itself, ability, abundance meaning might, miracle, power, strength, violence, might.
There you go. So it was a miracle. By faith, she obtained strength, or she's obtained the ability to do the miraculous. That woman had not had a period for years, which was a show that her womb had dried up.
Yeah.
So not only was she not able to have children in the time of her flower, when she was still flowering, after her menopause, she was what, 90 what?
90.
What, 99?
No,
that's Abraham.
90.
90. Well past the age of having children. And because Yah sovereignly spoke that promise that Jacob is going to know, Isaac is going to come through her womb, not your concubines, but the promise is in Sarah's womb. Sarah is going to produce the promise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She laughed at first, and then she said, so be it according to your word.
Okay.
But don't. He said, oh, Sarah's back there laughing. I wasn't laughing. You was laughing. What's so funny?
Mm-hmm.
My bad, Lord.
And you know, y'all humorous. He's like, you gonna laugh? Your son's name will be Laughter. Your son gonna be named Laughter.
But that was the response to the promise that he made. There was laughter.
Yeah.
So she named him after that situation. Mm-hmm. The minute Yah said it, power, strength, the ability to produce, the yield, Abraham's seed.
Yeah.
Her womb was changed by faith. Go ahead.
Because she judged him faithful who had promised.
Can we judge Yah faithful that when he promises something?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable.
You know what he's saying? That one was considered dead because her womb was dead. So he basically said, out of Isaac, this nation came that was numbered stars in the sands of the seas.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off,
Go ahead.
and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers.
So right now, the promises of eternity, the promise of us returning to our land, we may die with that promise yet working in us.
Yes.
But we have to die in faith. We have to die in faith if God should tarry. All promises we won't receive in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But we can have the ability to have the faith to see afar off. How? Because his word said it. We should be able to read Revelation when he said, I seen a city coming down out of the Shemayim. And it was the New Jerusalem. That's his word.
Yep.
Do you believe in that promise? Go ahead.
14. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had an opportunity to have returned.
Go ahead.
But now they desire a better country, that is an heavenly. Wherefore Elohim is not ashamed to be called their Elohim, for he hath prepared for them a city.
Oh my God. Do you understand that? This is why I'm telling y'all. Your faith puts you in the presence of Yah. Every minute you believing and holding on to Yah's word in the midst of a wicked and perverse generation that is pleasing to Yah and is removing the shame that you once lived in when we were dead in our sins. And now we actually become sons and daughters where he's not ashamed to be our Elohim.
Right.
We remove the shame and the reproach that our fathers put on us. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead.
By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Yitzchak. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son.
So Abraham gave back the promise. He was willing to sacrifice the promise. Go ahead.
Of whom it was said that in Yitzchak shall thy seed be called, accounting that Elohim was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith, Yitzchak blessed Yaakov and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Yaakov, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshiped, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith, when Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones. Verse 23. By faith, Moshe, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandments. By faith, Moshe, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Paro's daughter.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I want to go back to 23. He said, by faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw that he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. See what I'm saying? We're coming into some times where we cannot. Our faith is going to have to be stronger than our fear. That we may have to stand. It may. Yah should tarry, and Yah should suffer us all to go through that time that's to come. By faith, we have to be able to stand and defy whatever commands that are given to us.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go down to 26. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 25.
Verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people Elohim than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Esteeming the reproach of Mashiach greater riches than the treasures of Mitzrayim and Egypt. But he had respect unto the recompense.
Hold on, wait. Did y'all see that? What y'all see?
He took on a reproach of Mashiach. He rather took that on than the riches of Egypt.
How would Moses know anything about Christ?
Right.
Remember, Moses, he already seen afar off the promises. So he knew that another Mashiach would come.
Yes. Yes.
His likeness. So just he suffered with Christ, even though Christ had not come yet.
Mm-hmm.
He drank his portion of the cup.
Yep.
He suffered with Christ then. So when Mashiach went and actually ministered to the souls in prison, who do you think was one of the first men he went to? Huh? Moshe, and told you I've come. Oh my God. I'm here. All our fathers probably in their souls probably fell to hit their face when they seen Mashiach. He said, hold on, I'm on my way. Wait, I'm going to be back. I got to go get some keys. Oh my gosh. He took those keys, snatched those keys from Satan. That the disobedience our father that our fathers Adam and Eve gave them. Give me those keys. So he ministered to the souls that were in prison. He ministered to them. They saw him.
Yeah.
They saw him come down when he descended to the lower parts of the earth.
Yeah.
When he died. Then once he did that, he got those keys. He began to ascend all the way up to the Father.
Like
and stopped by real quick and he told them and bear witness and showed them. He told them, hey, here I am. I'm in the flesh. And he told them, don't touch me. I haven't ascended to my Father yet. But first he had to go down, minister to the souls in prison, get the keys of death. Went back to the top of the earth, bear witness that he resurrected. Now he said, because now I got to offer myself up. That's first fruits to my Father. And he went through all the heavens, all the layers of the heavens, showing that the word did not return void.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to go sit down in the seat of his Father. I want to skip through some of this because we're getting a little behind. Oh my gosh, it's so much to it. I think we'll do a part 2 on this. Guys, mine?
Yeah.
You want to do the whole thing?
Yeah, I want to do the whole thing. Because I'm going to be in there to read. I need this.
How about you? I know you don't.
I'm sorry.
You see, that man said I'm at a conundrum. You know what? I'm gonna give everybody an assignment. Finish reading from 27 to I believe it stops at 40. Mm-hmm. Stops at 40.
It's crazy when you really go through this. If you read truly read the fullness of the Old Testament, even the Apocrypha, the Maccabees, and them stories, he hitting on. If I can do a side assignment with y'all, when you see it mentioned in there, go to the story.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
See the details of it. Go to the story. You see the woman with the 7 sons being talked about. You know what I mean? Go to the actual story. I'm telling you, it will strengthen your faith and it will cause you to realize, man, I need more faith. I need more faith. How would I put yourself in their shoes? How would I be if my father told me leave your house right now? How would I be if my father told me, hey, your children instill that faith in your children, because there may be a time where they gotta face persecution. Do you want them to see and believe as you do? I go through it in them stories, and I'm telling you, it'll have you really crying like, man. Yeah, like the man said, I believe in you, but I need more faith. I guarantee at the end of this, that's what you'll ask for. Not obedience, because obedience is the ingredients of faith. But faith of giving me strength each and every day to get past this wilderness that we're in. That's all it is. It's a wilderness that we're exiled in. You got to be able to pass the test.
The It's like the story
I got to speak up because we still live, so we got to make sure people can hear us.
just like the story of maybe read, I think in King where Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you know, had
Yeah.
to bound and was thrown in the fire.
And them was children, man.
Right, and they were saying like, you know, we believe that even if our God don't deliver us from this, that He
Yeah.
is still. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know, they threw him in there, and once they threw him in there, they said, "We see 4 men."
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He said, "Not one hair on their head was even touched."
Even before that,
It smelled
remember?
like smoke it up.
Yeah. Remember before that when the king said, none of y'all pray to y'all God no more.
Right?
First thing Daniel did was what? Got his prayer mat, went straight to it. Straight. Who
Open
you
the
talking?
window.
Open the window so I can testify that I'm praying to my God.
Right, yeah.
And
And
they
then open
use
the
it.
window.
Open the
It's
window.
not, yeah, I'm praying.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Then the king came to him to interpret the dream. Didn't he give him the detail? Tell me about my dream. I'm not going to even tell you. Interpret it. Out of all the
We be at
magicians.
the job denying Christ all the time. Daniel, he praying with the window open. We be like, nah, I just really want to say nothing. You know, I
That's
don't
a
ruffle no
fact.
feathers because
That's a fact.
because I just don't want to. I just don't want to offend nobody because I got to hold on to this little job. You know what I'm saying? Act like we're doing y'all a favor.
No, not a favor. Even the Shabbat. And I've been there. But the reality is, like you said, when you have them natural elements going against you, all morals leave the group. Leave the room.
Hey.
All morals leave. I gotta eat. Do you?
Yeah.
Some of us need to fast a little bit more anyway. How we looking?
Yeah, man.
I mean, like,
Hey, man.
I'm just saying when you really look at it, like you said, faith is not that far fetched, but the application of faith is because of our flesh. It is. The reality, I really try to put myself in the shoes of those 3 holy children, as they say in Sirach. Like, have y'all ever read that? The prayer of the 3 holy children? Since Sirach. I mean, in the pocket, go read that thing. I mean, if that is truly the detail of what they were saying in that, boy, it was going in. They was going in. And it was repetition. Why they in that fire? They walk with y'all that whole way into that thing and testify to all of them that whoever they God is, that's the God I need to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way they survive that. Untouched, unscathed, clothes ain't even on fire or burnt.
Mm-hmm.
So one say like one is the appearance of the Son of Man.
You can't make this up, man.
Man, he was in that ministry. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Then it's done.
Yeah, man.
Like the ark, like the angel, cherubim.
So many.
What you think when he say, "I've given angel"?
Mm-hmm. So check this out. What we'll do is, so everybody finish that off reading through 40. That most definitely, that will really just edify you when you see all these testimonies of faith that our fathers had, right? So, but top it off, we'll take about, I think we'll be done at 6 o'clock. So faith is our ever-presence manifest to God. It's our spiritual tangibleness to Elohim. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's our way of making ourselves known unto him. We become real to him by it and through it. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Habakkuk 3 and 2 and 4. 2 and 4.
Oh.
2 and 4. This is to prove that faith is not a New Testament thing.
So which chapter?
2 and 4.
Spell it down.
Now, I would usually read this for some context, but the point I want to make is in this particular verse.
You said 2 and 4, right?
2 and 4.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
The just shall live by his faith.
That literally means when we say look at that word, it means kaya, and it means life, quicken, revive, right? So our life is actually with our life and our ability to live is by faith, right? Go to Luke 8:43. We want to substantiate our faith touches Yah. It's actually how we manifest our presence to Yah. And this is actually what you was bringing out.
Man, it's the one.
Mhm.
Which 43, right?
And 8:43. Mhm.
And a woman having the issue of blood 12 years, which has spent all her living upon physicians,
Mhm.
neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood staunched. And Yeshua said, "Who touched me?" When all denied, Kepha and they that were with him said, "Adon, the multitude throng thee and press thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me?" And Yeshua said,
Stop. So Mashiach, in the midst of this, of all these people, thronging means like pushing because it's a
Yeah.
big crowd, right? So all these people were sitting around, pushing them, touching them, all that. And he's saying, he stopped me and he said, "Whoa, who touched me? Go ahead."
And Yeshua said, "Somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me." And the woman saw that she was not hid. She came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was.
46. And Yeshua said, "Somebody has touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me." Do you see how powerful this woman's faith was? That she touched his garments, touched his tzitzits, right? And remember, what does the tzitzit represent? The remembrance, but also they established also because when we said the law is our righteousness, right? And because he was there to fulfill the Torah, he fulfilled the Torah. She was touching the righteousness.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whoa, you touched," and she said, "Who touched me?" They thinking of physical touch. He's like, "No, who touched me? Who pulled virtue out of me? Who pulled strength out of me?"
Mm-hmm.
He probably buckled a little bit, you know what I mean? Just like, whoa. What was that?
Look at that. What it say? That's the same reason when we said dunamis, right? What it says.
Miraculous power, implication of a miracle itself, abundance and might.
Dunamis. Saying who please that? He's literally saying who pulled authority, who pulled power out of me, who pulled virtue out of me, who pulled strength, who pulled a miracle out of me. Huh? Dunamis? Yeah, probably so. Because I know in the Christian world, they really talk about dunamis. Somebody have touched me, for I perceive that virtue is gone out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling down before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what cause she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, "Daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith," thy what? Thy faith, thy what?
Thy faith
has made thee whole. Go in shalom. So see, out of all those people that was thronging him, that was touching him, he identified that one person by her faith.
She was the only one he seen, not all of them. By her touching him, he actually pulled that power out of him, that strength out of him. And that's what pleases Yah. Yah wants us to come to him. He wants us to pull on him. He wants us to manifest ourselves to him through our faith. Hallelujah. I was gonna finish, but that's the crux of it.
No, I wanted to share something.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you read the definition of dynamis,
But you gotta speak up, though.
if you read the definition of dynamis, that's what it says.
Dunamis.
Dunamis, right? Inherent power residing in a thing by virtue of its nature, or which a person or thing exerts and puts forth. So that's what she took his exerting, power out of him.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Y'all doing part 2 next weekend, or was this the conclude?
I may do a part 2. May do a part 2 of this because this.
Okay, let
Yeah.
me know, because I come in person.
You
Whatever
come
the
again?
part 2 is, I need to.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So, family, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Hope you were edified out of it. I hope you got whatever y'all wants to give to you. I'm sure all of us, it's some other things I want to say, but I'll go ahead and I can't say it without getting more into the lesson. Let's just leave it here and say, have faith. And if you lack faith, ask y'all to strengthen it. Ask y'all to, and I know I'm gonna ask you guys for something that's very strange. You know, when you ask for faith, you're asking for tribulation.
Yep.
When you ask Yah that to strengthen your faith, you're asking him for possible tribulation. I know when I started praying that Yah would strengthen my faith, I was like, I went through some things like almost instantaneously. And I was like, hold on, how is this happening? I'm thinking I'm supposed to just believe for something like a car, believe for something. You know what I mean? Believe for something, right? Believe something superficial. I didn't know that I would get a speeding ticket and end up going to jail. I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know the certain situations I would have to go through for my faith to be strengthened. So take on the challenge and ask that your faith be made strong, that your faith become perfected.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're coming into some times where our faith is going to be tried on a whole nother level.
Okay.
And you want your name to be mentioned among the faithful, in the halls of the faithful.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be scared. If you know you lack faith, you know there's something weak in your faith, ask him to strengthen it. And if it seems like things go kind of sideways, and that don't mean because that's not always what Yah does. Don't get me wrong. It may be simply, you know what I mean, that he may want you to believe for something. He may put something in your spirit where he wants you to believe for something that's extraordinary. That's something that's maybe out of your economic reach, right? Mm-hmm. It may be something like far as you may have a goal, but you believe that you may not have the education. And I'll use Sarah's instance. Her profession requires a degree. Her profession requires a degree. And I'm talking about a full-on bachelor's. Every job she's gotten requires a bachelor. And she actually had to tell the truth. She didn't lie on her application.
Right.
And she is getting, her pay is that of actually is actual bachelor degree, and
So it has nothing to do with your natural thing. But she believed Yah for it, and she did it, and she's doing the job. You see what I'm saying? And she's doing the job. She didn't just get the job, she's doing the job. And Yah's inquiring, and Yah's giving her like super. He's giving her favor. So don't think that it's your degree. Don't think that it's got anything, because I always say, right, Yah loves the impossible.
Yeah.
He loves moving in the impossible.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing too hard for Yah. There's absolutely nothing too hard for him. So ask him to strengthen your faith. We all going to be all of our faith is going. And you can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Cussing people out. You forget that you ask for more faith, and then he puts you on situations at the job where people all of a sudden coming at you for no reason. Next thing you know, you cussing them out. You want to fight them. You end up losing your job. You said stop showing up. Now hold on, I thought you wanted more faith.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when your faith is being strengthened, you still have to move in the fruit of the Spirit. You still got to have the character of Yah. You still have to be able to withstand in the evil day.
Okay.
So, see, the guy said in and out.
That's right. Talking about the screen was going in now.
Oh, okay. With that being said, we're done. I hope everybody was truly edified with this lesson. We'll probably touch what we'll probably do, even if I may not necessarily do this lesson in fullness. We'll go up and do the touch, the following, the rest of it, I should say. Again, for all of you guys who may not know, we do our Ask Your Questions Wednesday on our stream on our Wednesday night. But this coming Shabbat, this is when we all have our family Shabbat. This is when all men actually teach. The coming Shabbat, I should say, is when every man teaches his own home. We do that to make sure that any questions a man's wife may have, they actually get edified by their husbands. So, and their children will be actually fed from the table of their fathers and their Lord. So we try to do all things in decency and in order. So so this coming Shabbat we won't be on live, but the following Shabbat we will resume actually into the month of December. We'll start back in the month of December. So unless you got any closing statements, Warrior.
Also update the Feast of Dedication does start next Tuesday evening. The Feast of Dedication does start Tuesday evening all the way up until the following Tuesday evening. So for anybody who will be keeping that, it does start Tuesday evening. So if you have any questions, of course, email us about it. And then other than that, that's it, family. So y'all have a good rest of the good evening, and y'all have a blessed week. Shalom, shalom.